Today, we're going to dive into Sir David Attenborough's witness statement to the world. And it is, truly, an incredible story. It's about the staggering change our planet has gone through, all seen through the eyes of one person in one single extraordinary lifetime. So Attenborough kicks things off with his really haunting line. Pripyat, if you don't know, was the town right next to the Chernobyl nuclear reactor. About 50,000 people live there, living perfectly comfortable lives, working at the very power plant that was about to become their doom, and they had absolutely no idea. The analogy he's making is, well, it's a stark one. Are we doing the exact same thing? Because, according to his statement, we are living in the shadow of an even bigger catastrophe. And this one isn't a sudden explosion. It's a silent, spiraling decline of our planet's biodiversity. This, he says, is our greatest mistake, a mistake born from just plain bad planning and human error. And that's really what makes this so powerful, right? This isn't just about data and charts, it's a first-hand account. The whole story of this decline can be told through the personal journey of this one witness who's been out there exploring our planet for almost a century. He has a name for this period, the Great Acceleration. It's basically the story of his life, a time when humanity's population, our consumption, and our impact on the planet just exploded. Just look at this timeline. It really shows the dramatic shifts that happened all within his lifetime. Let's just walk through it. Back in 1937, when he was just an 11-year-old kid, the world had 2.3 billion people. And get this, 66% of the planet was still wilderness. Now, fast forward to 1954, he's starting his famous travels, and the wilderness is already down to 64%. By 1968, that's the year we first saw that famous photo of Earth from space, we'd lost another 5%. And by 2020, the population has more than tripled, and the world's wilderness, well, it's been cut almost in half, down to just 35%. That's the profile of our world today. So after this entire lifetime of watching and documenting, what's the final verdict? What's the state of our planet right now? The numbers are, well, they're pretty shocking. Okay, let's look at this breakdown. This is all the mammals on Earth, measured by their sheer weight. We humans, we make up more than a third of that total. And the animals we raise for food, our livestock, make up a staggering 60%. And that leaves this tiny, tiny sliver for all the wild mammals on the entire planet. Just 4%. That's it. Think about that. From the smallest mouse to the biggest blue whale, all the wild mammals on Earth, they add up to just 4% of the total weight. And what about the forests? We are now cutting down 15 billion trees every single year. Half of the world's rainforests are already gone. And in the oceans, the story is just as grim. In the last 70 years, we've managed to remove 90% of the large fish from the world's oceans. So this begs a really important question. Why don't we feel this incredible loss more? Well, the answer lies in this idea called shifting baseline syndrome. See, each new generation just accepts the world it's born into as normal. We've gotten used to a planet that's, well, deeply impoverished because we have no real memory of the natural riches it used to hold. Attenborough's verdict is blunt. You really can't argue with it. We have systematically, piece by piece, replaced the wild world with a tame, human-focused one. In his own words, we've overrun the Earth. So all of this leads us to a choice. The science is forecasting a pretty terrifying future if we just keep going down this same path. We're talking about a series of tipping points, points of no return. And this timeline shows how that domino effect could play out. Scientists predict that in the lifetime of a child born today, we could see the Amazon rainforest start to turn into a dry savanna in the 2030s. Then the 2040s could bring this massive thaw of the permafrost, which would release this torrent of methane gas that we just can't turn off. By the 2050s, our oceans might become too acidic for coral reefs and the fisheries that depend on them. And that path leads to a world in the 2100s that is 4 degrees warmer, a planet that's hostile to human civilization. It's a devastating forecast for sure. But, and this is the important part, it is not inevitable. The very same science that predicts this collapse also shows us the way out of this crisis that we've created. The solution is actually as simple as it is profound. To bring stability back to our planet, we have to bring back its biodiversity. We have to rewild the world. So, what is rewilding? It just means stepping back. It means allowing the untamed, self-regulating systems of nature to make a comeback. It's about letting the living world, the planet's own incredibly complex life support system, heal itself. And by doing that, it can heal our world too. Now, this requires a massive shift in how we think about things. For centuries, we've seen ourselves as separate from nature, as its masters. The goal now is to flip that around and find our place as a species that is truly a part of nature once more. So, how do we navigate something this complex? Well, there's a framework called the donut model that can act as a kind of compass. Think of it like this. The outer ring is the ecological ceiling. Those are the planet's hard limits we just can't cross. The inner ring is the social foundation, the basic stuff everyone deserves, like food, water, healthcare. The goal is to build a world where all of us can live in that safe, just, and sustainable space right there in the middle. And to actually get to that balance, the most important lesson we need to learn comes directly from the natural world, which, has been operating sustainably for billions of years. In nature, things grow, and then they mature. A forest, a coral reef, they reach a point where they thrive without just endlessly expanding. But our economic model, it's all based on perpetual growth on a finite planet. So the final, crucial question that Attenborough leaves us with is this. Can we redefine what progress means? Can we, as a species, finally learn to thrive without constantly having to get bigger?